And here we are. Yeah, let me know if the music volume begins to drown me out. I had another birthday come and go last Thursday. Can't exactly say it was my favorite day of the week. Everybody hear me okay, though? Trying out some royalty-free music. See if that pops the YouTube algorithm or not. If it doesn't, then we'll continue using it. Because I know it's kind of boring with nothing going on and me just sitting here making grunty noises and clipping parts off sprues. Just figured I'd give YouTube another chance, and if I do start to have more probing question viewers like that, I'll just go ban them. Hey, Alex. Yeah, I kind of took a break. If you go look at the VOD for my last live stream video, some people popped in and started asking some very odd questions. And I didn't feel it was safe to be on the platform at the time. Who was behind me? Oh, it's Mittens. See the cat butt right there? Big old cat butt. How have you been? Hey, Aztooty. I'm okay. Welcome, welcome. We are working on this kit by Nuke Matrix. So you see the Centaur version there. Not going to be building that because it also has the option to do a motorcycle out of all of it. I'm just using the parts and getting the sprues cleared up. And you can also, yeah, you can find this on Amazon or Big Bad Toy Store or Show-Z, the usual places. What's funny is there's nothing on the box or in the instructions about it, but I was digging through the parts when I started building it, and there's a little packet of a mesh material in a baggie. I'm like, what the hell? Because it just showed you, because you can build two characters out of the box, right? So you get this form and you get that form. You can build both of them. So what it doesn't show you is that you also have the flesh parts for the feet and legs, and the mesh was a pair of stockings in scale. I'm like, what the fuck? Never seen that before. It's about $70. I got it last year for Christmas, basically. Just now getting around to it. And depending on how far we get with this and how much time we have, we may start wiring in some electronics on the Defiant. Getting that ready for lights. The holes are already drilled. Parts that need thinned out are thinned out and colored. Or if I feel like painting, I might get the White Promise version of Rappi that I printed out and start painting that. But I hope everybody's having a good summer so far. So yeah, right now I'm building the back horse legs, so to speak. As Tootie, thank you for the follow. I do other things too. Sorry, Mittens. Didn't mean to elbow you in the face. Figures. I've got the Ornithopter from Dune that I got to finish up. I paint larger scale figures, tanks, sci-fi, you name it. I'm just doing this because right now I don't feel like building, or I don't feel like gluing and painting. I just feel like kind of building something, getting it done, then we'll see what I feel like doing after that. What are you doing, Mittens? Got one of my cats here with us. Turn off the heater for a minute. P4 and P5. That's the sprue. This one is Nuke Matrix. Let me see if I can find it on Amazon real quick. Doop. And found it. This one not so much. It's actually just a snap together model. Woo! Long link. Sorry about that. So depending on the size of it and how I'm feeling it, it could take a few days. For a larger scale figure, it could take a couple weeks. Just because I have to print it out and then clean it up, put it together, paint it. And it's more involved when you're having to paint them realistically. Go here somehow like that. Okay. Yeah, it all depends on the scale, the amount of effort you want to put into actually painting it. Sometimes you just want to throw something together. there seems to be a common misconception these days that everything has to be finished to where you're going to enter it in a contest and it's perfect. No. Oh, gotcha. Yeah, the Bandai kits, I don't know, they do a good job of replicating something, but that's about it. And yet there's people out there that still find something weird and wrong with them. There's that. 17 and 20. Last year I made, I didn't stream it here, I was on Twitch. I wasn't on YouTube streaming yet. But I also did the Yellow Park, Optimus Prime, and Shockwave kits. The big ones. Yeah, I don't like that either. Because they're trying to replicate a typical human form, or even the Stormtrooper armor. They got the black mesh suit in the joint on the real size character. And it just still looks toy-like when Bandai does it. Maybe that's why I like these, because it's not meant to replicate an actual human body. So you can kind of forgive it for not looking real. And maybe that's what it is. It's like Bandai went so far to make it look right, but they missed something, right? It's like if they just gone that one step higher on what they were doing. Beast, Butte, either way. I just wish my fingers would stop dropping things. Do you know how to do carbon fiber without the decals? I might have to download the short I made on Twitch and re-upload it on YouTube showing how I do that. United States Air Force. Where did that go? Damn it, Bobby. There it is. Yeah, if you can airbrush and you have some pantyhose and some black and gunmetal paint, you can do carbon fiber. Another sprue I'll be able to throw out in a second. H1, H10. Oh, the box for this is absolutely massive. Like, watch the face cam. Here's the box top. I just stole some of my wife's. I use that effect to paint a third-party Death Scythe Gundam back in 20. It's on a shelf somewhere behind me, a little dusty. But it looks cool. I guess we're making the feet for the back. Yeah, it's a technique that's been around for a while. The car modeling community does it for when they have like their JDM style car models they make, and they don't have specifically like a carbon fiber decal for the hood or a fin. Not any of the Bandai ones, no. Star Wars I'm a bit meh on right now. I'd rather not do anything Star Wars given its current status. Not a fan of the figures or anything like that. They're very uninspired. I haven't watched Halo. When I found out that the first season wasn't even about the actual story, I was like, don't want to watch it. These aren't what I need for this. But I will need them, I think, so clean them up, get them set aside. Honestly, I haven't really played or followed Halo since ODST. I guess you could kind of say I outgrew it. Yet here I am playing with these things. But Halo itself, stories like that can only run for so long before you just get bored with it. And you move on to the next thing. Well, Cyberpunk's fine, because it can go anywhere and do anything. It's not restricted to one particular thing, and you can have a lot of different variations on how it looks. That's better. But Cyberpunk is also not... It's not just, oh, let's bolt a bunch of metal parts to you. You know, it's... There's a certain world it has to exist in as well. No, parts aren't too small, fingers too clumsy. It's another reason I'm not doing any gluing or painting today. Maybe later. If the hands want to cooperate. Yep. Lately, a lot of emphasis is put on the liking of a thing and not the quality of a thing. And there's a lot of qualities of certain things I just don't like, so... As you stated, Games Workshop's pricing. Disney's treatment of Star Wars, period, overall, just... They don't know what they're doing with it or where they're going with it, and it's become an incoherent mess. So I'd rather not support that with anything on my end. even Alien Romulus I'm willing to give a chance, but to me it almost screams soft reboot and partly stolen Alien Isolation. Because the current idea about Romulus and how the company has a space station full of aliens, because the preview clearly shows the facehuggers aren't in eggs, they're in plastic pouches, is the company actually found the original alien from the first movie in '79 drifting in space. Neat idea, good way to continue the story based on events before, but not having to have specifically Sigourney Weaver in it. Where they go with it from there, that's the deciding factor. Whether or not that's true, we'll see when the movie comes out. I have to pause really quick. I've got a sneeze attack coming on. There we go. So I believe these are assembled. Get all these bits off to the side so when I clean up. G sprues, the I sprues. Keep those over there. Here's I. H handy. G. G11 and 12. What, on mine or on whose? Yeah, the fun part on that was mimicking the unconventional camouflage. Because you watch the movie the way it was color graded back in '86. You don't see the camouflage as a desert camouflage. It almost looks like a faded BDU. But it's actually a lot of tans and browns. The guy who did the sculpting did an okay job. But like almost everyone else out there, he got the... You're welcome. He got the swing arm wrong for the Steadicam mount. I wasn't about to correct it though. I've got more important things to do. Oh, I did the full figure. And I printed it in a much larger scale. It's in my shorts. And I don't mean that literally. If you look at my shorts feed on YouTube, it's there. Yeah, I just don't have the personal time to throw together professional looking videos like that. You know she was in Titanic, right? I'm not kidding. The actress that played Vasquez was in Titanic. Yep. She played the Irish woman that was telling the kids the story of Tir na Nog when the Titanic was sinking. Yeah, you're doing fine. Don't worry about your English level here. My English is bad too. Could be worse, right? We could be speaking British. Okay, those two are done. Looks like I'm making some hip joints. I'm just trying to get all this assembled so I can throw the box out. Make more space. Yes, English, the Queen's English is not the same as American English. Oh, I've driven in the left lane. So is Aries. I do have to say, if you got an American car, the only downside to having it in the UK is you can't pass farm tractors if the road's too straight. You know, if you can't see around it, because you can't see properly to overtake. Outside that, though, it's actually a little bit easier. Oh, and McDonald's is harder to get through the drive-thru. But that's about it. I mean, it was bad enough when I got back here to the States. I made a left turn. Fortunately, it was at night and there wasn't a lot of traffic on the road. But I made a left turn into the left lane, and my wife's like, you want to get back over to the right? I'm like, oh yeah. It was like a day or two after I got back. A 79 Camaro was not a very large car. That's what I had over there. Are we finally going to get to motorcycle parts here soon, or are we still working on horse parts? Oh, backwards. Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, Nuke Matrix, a lot of their kits are like animal based. They do one that's like a bunny girl with a big computer screen that's in front of her, like a holo display. Another one's like a fox character with a big cross that's also like a sniper gun. They did the one, you've probably seen it on Amazon, it's like a bee, you know. And so I need H&M again. They do another one that's like a mermaid, like a cyber mermaid. That kit looks big. One that's a harpy. But yeah, there's some pretty cool stuff. Like on the thigh, when you bend it, this whole plate here moves. So like, get that up. So it slides a little bit. But it's still very top heavy, so it wants to fall over. There's neat little things like that in it. Maybe. I hope everybody had a good weekend. If everything goes right, I'll be back on Thursday. It'll be much more quiet in the house that day, so hopefully I can get on earlier. And if I don't get to the Defiant today, I might get to it then. That. Not yet. I've got the camouflage done on it. I still have the weathering to do. Yeah, that's when the inconsiderate people popped in and started asking a lot of real pointed personal questions that kind of set off the alarm bells. So I stopped streaming on here for a while. If they come back, we can just ban them. But at the time, I didn't feel like dealing with it. That depends on what you want to do. Lego's good, but after a while, it kind of blurs together because, kind of like these, it's all just snapped together. I was surprised to see they did the Atreides Ornithopter from the new Dune in Lego. Still getting used to these glasses. Yeah, it's all up to what you feel like doing, really. That's why I have so many different models myself. I don't know what I feel like doing from one day to the next. It's not even about that. I hope you guys enjoy it. But yeah, unless you guys request that I do something and either supply it or help fund it, especially if it's something I don't normally do, I'm going to continue doing my own thing, you know? As long as it doesn't turn into, you didn't do what I asked you to. It's like, well, you didn't give me incentive to do it, you know? Just do whatever floats your boat. Don't worry about what other people are doing. Like, you know, the one title that'll get me to not watch someone's video? And it's a pretty universal term. And it's really simple. It'll probably put you off once you see it, once I say what it is. Yeah. Here's how you should paint your minis. Here's how you should paint your model. Anytime someone shoulds in their title, it means they want you to do it their way, and not in a way that you might enjoy differently. Either because they have to push a sponsor's product or something like that. But yeah, if anyone's got should in their title, don't watch them. Okay, page 6. Okay, these are handed, so I'll have to wait on doing both of them. 13, 14 on the M's. Or those titles, you're painting your thing the wrong way. By whose authority? And I inserted thing because it could be anything. Could be tank, car, you know, RC boat, who knows? Exactly. And that doesn't mean don't pay attention to how they're trying to say to paint something, because some of them do have a lot of good techniques and valid points, but they present it in a way that makes you think that everybody else is doing it wrong if they're not doing it their way. To me, that's wrong. When it comes to hobbies and model building, there's so many different ways to do something. And I just put that together wrong. Yay! Oh, another Indian spammer call. Screw you. Ben Shodes. If I ever show something in my videos, it's one way of doing it. If you don't like it, cool. But it's how I do it. It just amazes me how many people get hung up on brands and techniques lately. It's actually kind of disappointing. And I know I've talked about it before. Beginning to sound like a broken record. Alright, we're almost done with these feet, I think. This is to transform her front feet into hooves, I think. I don't know. I'm not doing the Centaur version, I'm just assembling the parts. I don't really play with these once they're done. They're just models, they're not toys. Somebody else they might be toys, but I just like building them. Then they get put on the shelf under the lights. No, there's some days I'm kinda high-strung and kinda out of it. Those streams don't tend to last very long, and I wind up taking the rest of the day off. Just sometimes I gotta force myself. I know it sounds weird, but just have the motivation to do it. Alright, Ez. Yeah, I'll be around. I've got a different tactic for dealing with the probing people again, so I'll probably be on YouTube a lot more often as well. Okay. Leg pieces. And thanks for the follow again. This room? It's the other problem, once they start getting empty, they get tangled a lot easier since there's fewer parts and more hooky bits. The Busy Builder. I think if you do !YouTube. One moment. Do we have a tag for that? Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, it didn't pop up. There's an alert that pops up from time to time. I just forget what it was. Yeah, you can find me on there. You'll see a lot more of my completed projects there, too. These are both D25, so I'll snip them both off. See you later. Thanks for the follow again. 3 and 4. I think I have to make 2 of these anyway, so I'm just gonna get all the parts and make the 2. Wheels and wheels. Those can stay together for the moment. Check the status. It will be. I'm on the tracks now. Still gotta finish the figures too. I haven't touched it since that stream. There's been a lot happening on the real world side of things here that has gotten in the way. It's another reason I haven't gotten into anything really too in-depth since. kind of just... I've been letting projects get a life of their own. If something catches my interest and holds it, I'll just ramrod through it, right? But there's some things, once they lose steam, I kind of let it sit until I feel like getting back on it again. I know it's a pretty dumbass way of doing things, but it's the way I do it right now. I need the M sprue for number 7. Yeah, none of those projects have been buried back away in a closet or something. They're still very much on the surface. So it's not like they'll be forgotten about forever. I hope not. A lot of the things I've been getting and building lately have all been kind of like on a whim. More of a... what's the word I'm looking for? Impulse thing. I did this one backwards. I've been very impulsive lately in my decisions. So I'm trying to go back and build some of these impulsive decisions and get them off the shelf. Got a lot of big boxes laying around I want to get rid of. And there might be a minor rearrangement to my setup coming too, because another thing I got for my birthday last week was a airbrush booth with filter and tent. But I need to rearrange things so I can have the booth near a window where I can run the ducting to. G6. I'm trying to take measures to keep a lot of the dust out of this hobby room. G3. Yeah, I got a little impulsive on a Prime Day sale and bought it. But yeah, after today, my next streaming day will be Thursday, like I said. Time to be determined. There's some things going on that day. I may get up earlier than I think. I may sleep in. I'm letting life kind of show me what it wants me to do for the meantime right now. That doesn't fit very tight. G20. But that does get sandwiched, so not too worried about it. Leave that off until we get this on. Cool. If we can get this on. Holy Christ. Oh, there we go. Nope. The pegs. Why are they so long? Okay. Boing. Where'd that go? Come on. Not this again. I don't want to cut them because I think they're part of the locking mechanism for the next part that sandwiches on. They are. So... this. This beat doesn't take you back to the 90s. Holy crap. H4 times 2. Yeah, just for some reason that little bit wasn't wanting to line up just right. The pegs were so long, if it got slightly skewed, it would lock up and not move right. Where are we? Because I think what we're building right now is part of the front of the motorcycle. But this thing's Almost like the bike from Akira. Got to stay closed until G-sprue again. Alright, this is starting to go from royalty-free to really bad 8-bit music. See if I got something else to play. Trying to stay away from the standard music, which YouTube will shut the stream down if they hear it. Another scam call. Don't recognize that number. What's sad is these scam lines are mimicking local numbers or spoofing them. I'm getting really tired of it. Sometimes you wish there was more of a international effort to remove them. Oh yeah, we're getting to the wheels next. There might be a new short on YouTube tonight with this, if I get around to it. If not, that's alright. Maybe tomorrow. Hey, Major Havoc. Yep. I just noticed in the past I got more random engagement through YouTube than I do through Twitch, and I stopped streaming for a bit because there were some people asking probing questions that I didn't feel comfortable having them even on the stream. But now I'm back on here. I'll handle them differently when they pop up. Where is the end sprue? There it is. How are you doing? Yeah, it's up to you whether you want to support me on YouTube or Twitch. Either way. We'll see which side grows quicker, really. It's more an issue of me being on. It really is. Like, the two-party thing is a great authentication measure because it means if they don't have the other thing in their possession, they can't get it, right? They can't get you. But it just makes things take 5 times longer. But kind of like, there was a situation in California, right? Vandals kept stealing the wiring to a stoplight. You know, copper's worth a lot. So instead of dealing with the homeless and vandalism problem in the area, it was the homeless druggies that were doing it. They found out. Instead of dealing with that issue, they just replaced the stop light with a stop sign and said the homeless people will take care of themselves. It's the cheaper option that they go with. I'm doing okay. I had a rough birthday. Tried streaming that day, but anyone who's been here long enough could tell I was having trouble that day anyway. And my wife's going out of town again soon. Going up to Montana to spread some ashes. They had a 6th family member die this year. Exactly, Major Havoc. That's the other part. And then having to remember the password, then change the password, then you remember the old one, but you just changed it, so now you can't remember the new one. Yeah, we went through that today. Let me shift around a little bit. There we go. This music's almost over. We'll get the next one up and going. Supposedly this is supposed to be royalty free, so YouTube shouldn't flag it. Oh, that's the handlebars. Okay. E2, 16, 17. Looks like I'll be able to throw out this sprue. Right. There we go. Well, like, even when I was in the military, right? we were issued new cards that all had their individual chips and stuff on it, but we still had to have a password for the computer, but we had to insert the card to use the computer. So it's like, why not just make it so the card is your key? I mean, yeah, somebody could steal your ID and use it, but then that's where the criminal act is starting anyway, right? But if you're on the up and up, just have the card be the key. I'm sure Ares has an answer for why we don't do that, but it just makes a simple kind of sense. But there's always some person wanting to cause trouble. So when I'm done with this, I could get the Humvee out and work on it. The step I'm at on the Weasel is I'm putting the tracks together. That's extremely boring to watch. I don't know. What do you guys want to see? What do you think would make good so-called content? Set that aside. So G10, that's this. No, it's not just manga that's had that story idea. There's been plenty of sci-fi through the years where they make the person's biosignature part of the process. Hell, Demolition Man with the retinal scan. And I hate to say it, lately I've been feeling a bit apathetic, like it's hard to look forward right now with everything else going on, and I've been trying to not get caught up in that, but goddamn, when everything you turn on shoves it in your face, and then you wind up, even if you don't turn anything on, you wind up hearing about it from different avenues, you know? It's like, can we just start World War III and get it over with? F9 and 10. What am I even listening to? Wasn't a fan of it. It's really hard to top the over-the-top nature that the Schwarzenegger had one, especially with the director. There's just a certain quality the Verhoeven one had, no matter how cheesy it seemed, that you just can't beat that. Plus, the Colin Farrell one had that, what's the word I'm looking for? That shitty look that Minority Report had, where it was all desaturated and over fuzzy focus thing. I don't know. I don't think it is. I'm sure somebody out there is trying to think of a way to make it work. But you're talking about something that would have like major surgical requirements to even happen. It's talking about the in-hand phone from the new Total Recall. It's like those spoof videos the guys did on YouTube a few years ago where they used effects to make it look like they had things built into their arms doing that. Okay, which orientation are you? Well, it's not even that. There's just so many different things you would need to have in your body to make it work. Are all of them stable in the environment of our body? What's the possibility of rejection of the parts? The breakdown of it, things like that. Even Ghost in the Shell, the manga addresses that. What the hell just happened to the music? It went sideways. That sounds cleaner. And that it can lead to fungal infections and things that we've never even considered. That kind of stuff sounds cool, but honestly, it is a medical nightmare to even figure out. In. That's what she said. Waiting for Ares to come in with his giggity. Quite possibly. We don't know. It's all still just sci-fi now. Things like Johnny Mnemonic, where they're talking about having, they call it the shakes in there. But it's based on some of the writing in Neuromancer. But yeah, it's quite possible that once we start introducing stuff like that, there could be God knows what kind of reactions to it. Sometimes I'm glad we have laws against human experimentation. Imagine where we'd be if we didn't have those. If you wanted to. I made a "that's what she said" joke. Or comment. What, the Neuromancer books? Yeah, but like Johnny Mnemonic is very steeped in the original William Gibson concepts of cyberpunk. But the one thing a lot of people miss when it comes to cyberpunk, I think even 2077 didn't get it just right, is for the world that you're in to exist in those stories, everything else has to collapse, you know. We could easily be headed there, though, for all I know. Oh yeah. The good thing is you got to see even more of her in Starship Troopers. Spam, 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 spam. See, this I hate. It's like if there's numbers that are coming up in your phone, right? As spam risk numbers. If the phone companies know it, right? Why don't the phone companies make it so that number can't be used anymore? How hard would it be? Oh, this one's flagged as a spam number. It can't call anybody. Your phone won't receive it. If you can trace through the computer that the phone is calling or is being called from an outside location to the country it's supposed to be coming from, block it. If you notice an inordinately high number of calls coming from, say, India, even through a bouncer, why don't we just cut off that chain of phone calls? What's the point of having IP address and call logging if we're not using it for what it's fucking designed for? Got to line these up here for the brake caliper. Oh, come on, you. Got it. Another movie people forgot that Dina Meyer was in is Star Trek Nemesis. She played the Romulan commander. I'm not trying to glue the parts together, just trying to minimize the mess from the stub removal. That's just it. I don't know anybody in any of those countries that would have my number, so there's no reason to be going that I should even be getting calls from them. Well, that was actually one of Tom Hardy's first movies. I think the other one at the time was Black Hawk Down. He was going through some rough shit then too, apparently. The only reason he got cast in Nemesis is he was also from Manchester and the right age to play a younger Picard. Being that Patrick Stewart's from Manchester, they needed somebody that could mimic the accent. Just a shame that the movie was almost like a retelling of Wrath of Khan. It had some good concepts in it, but just really fell very flat. And a lot of people forgot Ron Perlman was the Viceroy in that. The weird Riemann guy that was helping Tom Hardy's character out. Okay, I need the G-sprue again. 26 and 27. Unfortunately, it felt like those later movies just really put too much emphasis on Data and Picard. Generations felt like it was kind of like everybody, right? Almost every character had their own little moment. But then First Contact, it really was Data and Picard for the most part. Insurrection, definitely. And after that, it was just bland. Or dare I say it, Star Trek V gave the original cast and crew more moments for each character than any of the Generations films did for their own respective crews. Thanks for that. Alex Jensen is asking people to give it a like if you find it interesting. I hope people do. Again, I do this for a hobby. Would it be cool if it took off on its own? Yeah. But it would take a lot for that to happen. Ow, 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 ow. Sorry, moving my leg. Been sitting on it too long. Okay, I need the F sprue again. We're nearing the end. The sprues are getting thinner and thinner in parts. Yeah, I don't mind at all if people want to spread the word and share things from here. How else are we supposed to make things happen, right? Okay, so trying to figure out how they want this to fit in here. Okay, it does go like this. Right. Oh, you're right there. For me, everything going on right now in our little corner of the world reminds me of the tagline of Alien vs. Predator back in the day. No matter who wins, we lose. Yeah, we're getting the major chunks together here soon. Now, I do have the Harpy in the same series as this character as well. But I won't be starting that in this stream. That'll be another character for another day. What's really sad, though, is even recently, I've seen certain people even try and politicize model building. No, it's a hobby. Let's not take everything that we do to escape from reality. Well, I hope everybody is concerned. A lot of us just don't know what to do anymore. Apparently there's a transformation process to this. I think I may have assembled some things backwards though. Okay, that one's there. Aha. So it looks like part of this becomes part of the bike. I don't know how. It's saying I have to take the gold pieces off, but I don't see why. I'm kind of getting ahead of the steps here. I'm just figuring out things that I've done wrong. See, nobody's perfect. Yeah, the gold part doesn't exactly get in the way, so... that goes all the way forward. I don't know. I guess we'll figure it out as we get the motorcycle assembled. Okay. Let's finish putting whatever this is together. Might be throwing these spurs out too. I'll definitely need to empty my trash can when this is done. And I wish there was a program with some model companies to, you know, send back Yeah, those do look cool. That was part of the reason I wanted to get this. There's a couple different sci-fi motorcycle kits out there. Another one's called the Macho. It's the MS General line of kits. It's also on Amazon. It's blue and white. But it's a really cool looking bike when it's built. Unfortunately, I'd never own a motorcycle myself, at least not where I'm living right now. The roads here for motorcyclers is more dangerous than the Mad Max world. P7, P8. Right? It's like, hey, you sent back enough sprue that we didn't have to spend it, so you get a model kit. I know, I get distracted easily lately. That's cool, kind of like a hidden missile launcher kind of thing. It's going to be interesting to see this bike together. I'm not going to decal it today, I'll probably do that off stream. Decals are rather boring if it's just all the little, like, stencil types. Like, nothing to see here, move along. Given some of the kits lately, yes. Something like that, though, would really only be beneficial if the kits were local. Like, if, like, Revell and Ertl brought their production back to the US, or, like, Revell Germany jumped in on it a little, I guess. But there's just... The logistics behind shipping the sprue and all that would be crazy. But, like, if they had U.S. offices where they could collect it and then send it back out or something. I don't know. I'm kind of just talking out my ass right now, I guess. There's probably some form of merit to what I'm discussing, but no real way to make it work. But if you take the amount of sprues in this kit, yeah, you could easily do a smaller, more regular sized kit out of it. But that's what I'm getting at. Most of the companies right now, all their molding's done in China. I think Atlantis Models is one of the few that's based in America now, and they basically repop old companies' kits. Like, they bought all the old stuff that Revell and Monogram don't use anymore because they're inaccurate. They're the old, like, 50s and 60s box scale kits that people like my father grew up building, right? It doesn't make them bad, but they're not like current top of the line kits. They're not something that people really, pay a lot of attention to unless they're into the nostalgic stuff. So a company like that doing it would make some more sense. Like, send us all your old sprue. It would keep the cost of your kit down across the board for everybody. Like, imagine if everybody who builds models in the US, right, sent their old sprue to Atlantis Models. And they were able to chop it up and mulch it up into the pellets to remelt it and remold it and go from there. How much money would that save them having to ship in bags and bags of pellets? I wonder if anyone's actually done a feasibility study on that. Same thing with Revell Germany. How many Europeans build models that they could send their plastic back to Revell Germany? At least for their in-house molded kits, not their, Hasegawa reboxes and stuff like that. I know it sounds stupid and it's probably a pipe dream, but there's got to be something behind that could work. Restream just let me know I've gotten 100 messages in chat. And they want me to know if I want to tweet it. I'm not on Twitter. Or X, or whatever you want to call it. Tell me this doesn't remind you of a needler. Random thought, squirrel moment, whatever. Okay, and I need these off of here. But today was a much better stream. It goes so much more comfortably, I guess you could say, when you have people talking. I know it sounds weird. Okay. So this plugs into here. Is the speedometer. it supposedly sits down on here somehow. And goes back into there. How do you work? Okay, that goes like that. Oh, and then you bring this thing back up, I think. Yeah, and it locks it in like that. Okay. I'm beginning to see how things fit. And then this goes here. Okay. Okay, this is where it gets weird. So these go here. What is it plugging into, though? I got that right. It does not plug into that. Unless... Aha! That's why they have you remove the gold parts. So something else to go into the Ziploc baggie of spare pieces. Okay. Now this is making more sense. That goes in there. Okay. Yeah, she was a good, you know, for just buying the files on a whim. That's one of those projects that kind of grabbed me and stuck. And that's what I mean. Just some projects grab you, some don't. Okay, then that goes in there fully. Maybe. Gonna look like one of those things from the Wizard of Oz sequel that came out in the 80s. Guys with the hands, with the wheels, the rollers, I think they were called. I don't know. Wheelers, the Wheelers. Is that what they were? It's one of Farousa Balk's first movies. Something real quick. Yeah, it looks like that should go up further. Somehow, some way. There we go. There. Just trying to get everything lined up right. Okay, there. Much better. And then the back wheels, very much the same thing. Okay, so this goes in here. I got that on the wrong side. There. And okay, you go there. There. These go in here. Boing. Into the paint water. Yeah, I'll mess around with the final pose off stream. Maybe get kind of an homage to the Akira slide going on the pose. And if you watch anime and don't know what the Akira slide is, shame on you. And these fit back here. There we go. So the kickstand does work. Yeah, like the bike mode actually looks like it should be, right? The Centaur mode doesn't seem like it's supposed to fit. It feels like a clunky add-on. Like, hey, we've got this bike that looks like this, but we can also make it a Centaur. Eh. Yeah, then the rest of the instructions just have you take the front half of the bike off, and then move the legs around. Alrighty, so are there any other parts that need to be swapped around, or do we just have a lot of extra parts here that I don't need? Okay, this is part of the horse thing, but I'm going to put them on because they just add that much to it. The red soles to the shoes here. Alrighty, so yeah, let me make sure I don't need any more parts from the sprues. Yep. There's a couple little things. She must be a tight squeeze. Didn't say that. Yeah, there's a couple little things to hold on to, but nothing that won't fit in a Ziploc baggie. I'll have to go through the sprues, cut them all out, and just put them into the bag. I really don't know what to work on next, to be honest, though. And we've only been on 2 hours. But I think it's a good first re-entry to YouTube, considering what happened before. I don't know, what do y'all think? Try and find something else to work on, or just call it a day and let other things happen? It'll give me time to plan out Thursday a bit more, too. That way I can get all my ducks in a row, get Thursday's stuff ready. I almost want to say we could light the Defiant on Thursday. There's some minor detail painting, stuff to do with washes and stuff like that. I want to go over the pictures and see what they did and see what I can do. I'm just taking off the relevant parts for the Centaur mode if I ever decide to put it there. Yeah, there's some just minor detail painting. There's minor decals, like markings for the tires. Just little tidbits. I'll work on a pose for her and the extra figure that came in the box. Maybe something where they're both on the bike and do a real, or yeah, I'll do a short for that. So next stream could be Defiant, or I don't know, could be the Weasel. Let's get the Weasel finished, you know. Are we done with the Q-spoon? Almost. I just don't know what I feel like working on at the moment. You know, once you finish one thing, you kind of want to clear everything up, clean up, and get ready for the next. I didn't think that far ahead. No. Plus, I want to let the stream sit with YouTube, let them go through the music and make sure nothing was copyright claimed. Oh, it's Boss Nass! Funny thing is, you go on YouTube and you watch something with ads, depending on the region you live, you might actually hear Ahmed Best's voice in a commercial for Yasso frozen yogurt. And that's Jar Jar. Yeah, there's the main figure. So, let me get the other figure from the box. Be right back. Ow. Keep in mind, this figure, as you saw, you could build it in the instructions, but not like this. completely blow out. But yeah, the kit comes with an entire second body. And there's enough parts that you could almost make a third figure if you had hair pieces. So, I'll figure out something on the bike for tonight and get that up on the shorts, though. The reels, or whatever we want to call it now. Same format, 3 different platforms. I think we'll just call it a stream. Thanks again for watching. Hope everybody had a good time, and have a good night.